Yes, dive away, Izzy.
So we had some things that happened in the whole Linden Homes situation over the past month. The first one was the release of Copperfield Heights Homes. So that's obviously a craftsman-inspired design with arts and crafts details and large, spacious living areas. The style also has homes in all three sizes, so it works for Plus, Premium, and Premium Plus. It's got the 5, 12, 10, 24, and 24 D8. And one thing I really love about it and push very hard for is if you have a 1024 parcel, you can still put the 512 home in it. And if you have the 2048 parcel, you can still put the 1024 or the 512. So if you want a bigger yard and smaller house, that's completely possible. It also, like Aspen Ridge, features seasons. Right now, we're in the spring season. There's 12 floor plans overall, including 8 open style plans. Let me get you this link here where you can go ahead and demo them if you so choose. Right there. If you want to select one, of course, you can go to the Linden Home Selector, which is right here. And obviously, if you're Premium Plus, you can submit a support case for any currently available Linden home that you come across. I'm getting to that part, Teresa. Couple of quick caveats. The 2048s have been proven very popular, and we're working to provide many more. They remain short supply up until very soon. So if you see one available that you want, go ahead and grab it right away rather than filing this support ticket, because the likelihood is if you submit the support ticket, it'll be gone before you actually get to that. One thing I want to kind of go over, and this is a little bit of insider information, but we're all friends here, right? When we came out
Oh, and
with
we'll share
the
for sure.
right. When we came out with the initial templates and everything that had, kind of a somewhat even mix of 2048s, 1024s, and 512s, we then came out with another set of templates where we took away some of the 512s and turned them into 1024s. We've now come out with another set of templates that is almost completely 2048s and a few 1024s. So as you see future releases, you're going to see more 2048s come out until we start seeing a little bit of each, hanging over. So that way there'll always be some available. So if for some reason, oh my gosh, we're releasing it like that and a lot of 1024s are going away quickly and they have too many 2048s, then we'll release one of the versions that has more 1024s until we kind of get it into an equilibrium. But we have absolutely heard you guys and what you said about wanting the 2048s, and so I will make sure that there are more of them coming available. I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe the new ones have, it's either 8 or 10 2048s and then 2 or 4 1024s. Yeah, right, exactly, Eric. But that's why I said or, so that way your quote has to be arranged. Teresa, aren't the lakes absolutely amazing? And we're working on all sorts of ideas with that, Sarah. Let's see, we got that. Also, there was an initial glitch when we first released that had the extra fireplace grates that wouldn't delete properly. That bug's been removed, so we're good there. There might still be a few grates that are out there. Just file a support ticket and they'll jump out and go ahead and crush it. You know how the land team is awesome about that. And then the one thing I know nobody here wants to talk about, but I have to bring it up. We did have the release of the Ridgewood Enclave commercial districts. There was an initial issue when we released the commercial districts in that people were constantly going in there like mad, which we should have expected with any new release. But people were bouncing through the different internals so quickly, it was bogging down the system. And then the system wasn't resing any of the internals because it was delayed. So people were clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking because, that's what we do is when a website doesn't load, we click, refresh a million times. That's just natural. And so that expanded on the problem to where it was then all of a sudden resing lots of versions and not deleting the previous, et cetera, et cetera. That also has been fixed, which is why we're back open again. And I'm guessing what everybody here is wondering is when more commercials are coming out, unless nobody wants to know. Sassy, since you're the only one that wants to know, I am you the answer. Okay, there we go. Um, um, what we're going to do is I made the call that we're going to wait until after this weekend because I want to make sure that we don't have another instance of things breaking here. So we're letting it kind of sink in and everything. We're also updating the covenant and the note card just to make sure that we have everything covered. And then starting next week, we will go ahead and start releasing more, probably faster, but I don't want to overburden Ridgewood Enclave with too much commercial area. Just keep in mind that these commercial areas are strictly for commercial areas. So you can't use them as residential. You can't use them to store your stuff, although sometimes I feel like I would need that. I need a second Linden home just to store my things. And there's going to be a lot more clarity on what you can and can't do in there. We're not trying to be no, 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 but some of the things that we had in the covenant, we got lots and lots of questions about. And so we wanted to make sure that we expanded upon those things to be a little bit more clear. Teresa, up to 2 hours is all I can really say about that. But if you want to know why it's in place, is because there are people out there that would absolutely go ahead and, grab a prime location just to make a profit by selling it to somebody else. So that random time period for it to become available again makes that a heck of a lot harder to do. Sorry about that. Well, if you want to ask the question again, I was reading and talking at the same time, so I probably missed it. Yes, it is random. It won't always be just 2 hours or whatever. Otherwise, that would kind of defeat the purpose. Is there going to be anything in place to deal with people who misuse? There we go. The store or to have their stores. Yes. One of the things that's coming out in the covenant that it could change between now and tomorrow when I release it. So take this as a work in progress. Okay. But we're going to only give people 7 days to get their store up and running. And the store has to be an actual store. I'm not saying what kind of store. A coffee shop can still be considered a store as far as I'm concerned, but it can't be an empty thing with one little kiosk that isn't really a store. Okay. But Avery, the thing is go ahead and do it. Get it on a Friday and give yourself the weekend, stuff like that. And I've seen most people that have stores got theirs set up in a day or two. It doesn't have to be, exactly the way you always want it. Go ahead and just put it, all around. Exactly, Sassy and Teresa. It doesn't mean you can't tweak it and whatnot and things. Darlene, I don't want to say what can and can't be sold because that's more of a terms of service issue. The big thing that I know can't be dealt with is breedables. You can't be breeding there. Okay, so keep that in mind. But maybe on the next meeting, we can go ahead and dig deeper into the whole covenant and whatnot, just because of the fact that it's still being tweaked. It's going to come out tomorrow. You guys can read up on the revisions and stuff that we have and then go ahead and deal with that too. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? Red Wraith, it would depend upon, are you breeding in the store or do you just have a vendor in the store that you buy from? Okay. So just keep that in mind. Let's see. Oh, also, I'm going to just copy paste this. It's the list of the current, this was in the blog too, but this is the current regions that are out right now for the commercial district. And I have one question to ask you guys at the end. So obviously, unlike the Linden homes, these aren't selected via the land store. And the reason why is we wanted to make sure that you could go ahead and pick the location that you wanted rather than getting a random location, which is why that available sign pops up that you can click to do that. We already pretty much talked about the issues and your guys' feedback. And I want you to know that I was happy for the feedback because I learned a few sensitive areas that we needed to tweak in the process. One more thing that I wanted to mention about Linden Homes in general, we did get a couple of questions about the legacy Linden homes that went away, and we absolutely are still planning on having a memorial for those areas so that way you can see the ones that we used to have and everything. That's absolutely still in the plan. It's just, I don't know if you've noticed, but it was like every week or two we were releasing something in the past month or so. So we've been a little busy, but we will backtrack up to that and get that on there. You will look in the future, we're going to come up with some alternatives for some of the lesser used Linden Home themes that are out there. And it's not just going to be more of the same. We've come up with some interesting things that complement some of the themes that aren't as utilized, with maybe some interesting ideas that we'll see if there are any interests for that. My question to you guys, and this is going to be very opinion, but I just wanted, since I've got a great group of people here, how do you guys think of the Ridgewood Enclave homes and store parcels and how they mesh together and are adjacent to each other and such? Okay, great. That's what I thought. That was the intention and everything. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, Prokofy. We're also going to start making little clusters of commercial regions too, so we get kind of a larger mall area and everything like that. I just wanted to also make sure that people that are not wanting to be anywhere near a commercial area also have the ability to be at least a region or two away from where there are commercial regions. So that just want you guys to know that we're still keeping that in mind too.
Giving some of them the option of having sort of like a gated community sort of vibe could have been an idea as well. They seem a little bit too, suddenly their neighbours are a department store, and that's a little bit off-putting,
I
perhaps.
get that. That makes sense. I can appreciate that. I'll look into it.
Because the Copperfield, is that what it's called? I keep getting that wrong.
Copperfield Heights is the other one.
Yeah, okay,
It's
yeah.
Ridgewood Enclave.
Yeah, I just meant their walls that you built to create those different heights. They're really nice. So doing that to this section could be kind of cool as well if you were into doing some more landscaping in that sense.
Cool. No, that's a good idea. The last question I see here, I want to answer before I turn it over. Nix, the reason why we haven't done a home/commercial mix, number one, Linden Homes and the stores are really, really meant to be entryway, although with how advanced they're getting, I know a lot of people just want to keep them. But also, since we don't have permissions that operate on a Z axis, you wouldn't be able to prevent somebody from looking into your personal store or home area above the store. So that's just kind of a little problem. Teresa, great question. I wasn't sure if I was going to mention it or not, so I guess I'll mention that the next meeting. No, I'm kidding. We absolutely are working on putting in not just a directory of stores in a region, but also having in one of the homesteads a thing where has a list of all of the regions, so you can go to the bus stop and bounce to the different regions immediately.
We were impressed seeing the bus stop. But just quickly, Izzy,
Well,
are
let me answer
brands
Kit real
allowed to
quick.
have two stores?
Starting
Sorry.
next week, we should be releasing more commercials. Sorry, go ahead, Sassy.
Just a quick question. Somebody wanted to know if it's possible to have two stores for the same brand but different Premium Plus accounts, like they own two accounts. Say, for instance, and this is not Alaska asking, it's just that I know that she went through the rigorous effort of making a second marketplace for herself as a discount marketplace for her brand. So I was just thinking that's the perfect example I have. Like she could have a store for Alaska Metro, and then she could have a discount Alaska Metro with two different Premium Pluses. It's not about her. I'm just using her as an example.
No problem at all. The main thing that we have, and I'll touch on the Skybox thing and then I'll stop there. The main thing for somebody having multiple stores, obviously you have to have multiple Premium Plus accounts. So that's definite. So your alt can have one, but they can't be the same store. They can be the same brand. They can be the same business and everything like that, but they can't just be carbon copies of each other. Okay.
Right. So
So
it
if
can't
you're
just be an experience. It has to actually show something else in that store. So it could be a discounted
Yes,
store.
discount is just
That's
one possible option, but yes, absolutely. And somebody asked something that I wanted to answer, but it zoomed by so quickly. Web pages are definitely something that's being looked into. Got that answer? I don't see the. Oh, sorry. Yes, the skyboxes. A skybox, obviously, number one, can't be used for residential. But if you wanted a little builder's platform up there or something like that, I don't object to that. Okay. But you got to be keep in mind you only have certain number of prims and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. But with the new covenant not having been released yet, that could be one of the things that gets changed because we've been going back and forth on a few things. So please take everything that I said as far as rules as subject to change to tomorrow's covenant. So keep an eye on that. Okay, I'm going to turn this over to, I think, Wendi, you're taking the next one, or is it Henshin?
Hello, everybody. Sorry, I just want to make sure. Is my mic coming through all right?
Can hear you just fine.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. This will be the first time that I'm doing one of these, so give me some grace. But let's see. So I do have some other exciting news. Woo! Hooray. Let's see. So I do have some other exciting news. The release of WebRTC-based voice. WebRTC is now available on our Blue Steel release candidate servers. They're covering about 3.4% of the grid. This includes quite a number of resident-owned estates that have opted to be part of the WebRTC beta and many other locations, including this here meeting area. For those who may not know what the big deal is with the WebRTC voice, this will provide improved reliability, lower latency, and a foundation for future voice features. On top of that, you'll hear an improved voice quality with WebRTC, and hopefully you guys are noticing that on this region. Let's see, what else is there? If you'd like to try WebRTC enabled in your region today, please file a support request at our support portal. If you guys need a link for that, I guess I could drop one. But just select the land and region type and then other land, provide the region name, and request an upgrade to WebRTC voice. Bear in mind, however, that this will be going grid-wide very soon, or it may be going grid-wide very soon. Sort of depends on how things pan out, I guess. Let's see. As you can imagine, there are some caveats when you move between WebRTC and non-WebRTC enabled regions. For one, peer-to-peer voice calls between regions on WebRTC and the rest of the grid may not work until the entire grid is on WebRTC. And you may note differences in audio quality depending on being in or out of the release candidate channel. So, monitor that, just see how it goes. Also, if I'm going a little too fast, just let me know, guys. Let's see. Finally, as this is a continually evolving project, you may see tweaks and changes as we move towards release. You may wish to check out the project viewer with WebRTC, which includes our first new WebRTC-based voice feature, voice moderation. This will allow you to mute people on voice in your region within the viewer. You would find the beta viewer at Wendi might have the link for you already. There we go. Nice. Okay. Let's see. And if you would like to provide feedback to our development team regarding WebRTC-based voice, you can do so at does Wendy have the link? Yes, there we go. Also, if you're a Discord user, please check out the voice channel on the official Second Life Discord server at bam. There we go. All right. Let's see. I believe that's the end of my segment. So if you guys had any questions, I'm not gonna lie, I was I was really putting in all my effort for this first one, so I might have missed them. But let's see if you guys have any quick questions that maybe I can answer. Not sure if I can. What did I say? Can I repeat? I can do the whole thing again at double speed if you want. Oh, thanks, guys. Okay, I'm going to pass it over to Wendy now.
Wendy, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm not actually hearing you.
I'm hearing Wendy, so I'm not sure what that's about.
Which region am I not being heard in? Let me ask that on voice so that people can tell me that they can't hear me.
Wasn't hearing you on 4.
Okay, so 3 is fine, 4 is fine. Are we hearing on 2? Okay, some people are hearing me on 2. How about if I come over to this region? Maybe it's region 1 being in
Yay!
trouble.
We hear you now.
Yay!
Awesome. Then I'm going to just hang out over here for a while, because that'll work. It's called magic.
Now you get to start over all over again.
Sarah, eventually, I assume, depending. We'll see. So I wanted to touch on a couple of mainland projects that are going on. We've got a couple active projects going on the mainland. I mean, some of the others I mentioned before, they're ongoing. A new road that's in the works through the Bob 2 region. Another road project to connect Bay City and Nova Albion to the rest of the Sansara road network. Some improvements around Pompanillo and Davenport. We're working on a little kind of foresty area there around the old caldera. We also fixed last week a long-standing terraforming glitch that was between Anzir and Dissel in the Snowlands. There was a spot there where it would not terraform up. It stayed kind of in this large ditch. That's now fixed for the first time in probably about 15 years, give or take. We're looking at doing the same fix, actually, on top of one of the large mountains in Mimas and also in Opera, which is the twin of Mimas. We'll see how that goes. But that'll be really nice to not have a large gap between the regions. Mimas? Okay. We're looking at a few more changes and fixes over the mainland as well in the future. If there's anything you'd like to see reviewed that's out on the mainland now, please go ahead and visit feedback.secondlife.com and let us know. We do look at that regularly, and even if a thing is marked as completed, it may mean that it's been put on tracking, and we review those regularly, see what we can work on next. As with all such projects, I know a lot of people have been waiting on the Bay City to Nova to Sansara road connection for a while, and also that road in Bob too. They may take some time, but they are in process. So we'll get there. Finally,
And now I just
New
lost you.
Bloom Mountain. Oh,
Oh,
lost
you're
me
back.
now?
You're back.
I didn't do it. I swear. So some of you may have noticed some changes on the Corsica continent. A new mountain has appeared there called New Bloom Mountain. We discovered that following a trail of a new resident to the mainland named Dahlia, who was looking for anomalies that she discovered. It seems that when the region first appeared, that flying was not possible. However, land operations staff have reviewed this. That's back to normal once more. It's a wooded-themed mountain region, has double land impact, surrounding a tall peak in the center of the region. These parcels have been set for auction. They'll be going live today. Should have just started a little bit ago. And the rest will be going, through the rest of the week. Be sure to check it out. Eric's put the link in. Maybe keep an eye out for more anomalies across the grid over time as well. There may be things coming up. And that's what I have. I'd like to kind of open up, any other questions or, on anything we've discussed or anything else that you're seeing out there. Also, if you want to share cool things that you've been working on, if you have a neat parcel that you've been doing or anything like that, we'd absolutely love to hear about it.
We don't
noticed a
have
couple
any.
sorry.
We don't have any current timeline for the release for any of the themes. It's pretty much as they get filled up, we go ahead and release more.
Could you consider waiting until a time that made more sense and then actually announce it, giving people some hours to get online or get their stuff together?
Well, that was for Starlin's question about the fantasy theme. As far as commercial, the problem is there's so many factors that come in on release because there's stitching the regions together, cloning that happens, QAing that happens, and stuff like that, that it's really hard to stick to a particular timeline. However, like with all the other Linden homes, we're going to start releasing them much quicker starting next week. So it won't be as much of a problem as it was this one time. I know 300 stores sounds like a lot, but it was, gone in a speck of time. But we will absolutely be releasing faster. Yes, exactly, Bella.
I just sort of mean if you were finished on Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m., don't release it that time. Just sort of say we've done with it. What we're going to do is we're going to release these at 10 a.m. on Wednesday and give people an announcement, and then that gives people a choice to set their alarms, stay up later, maybe going late to work. I mean, some people said that they've even taken days off when they thought themes were coming. That's a lot to expect of people with a 24-hour sort of world. So if you're done, maybe even if you say we're going to release on Wednesdays, but even if we're finished on Monday, we're just going to wait, and people would respect that, I think, a lot more if they could time themselves for it and it be a bit fairer.
I will definitely take the information and ask, but I don't know if that would be the case. But I will definitely bring it up and see.
That would be great.
And well, I'll put it this way: on the announcing, I will see. On the different times, I absolutely will try my best to start staggering them. That I definitely will try to do. Unfortunately, Sarah, I don't know about that because, I mean, Wendi, I don't know if you even have any information on that.
No, no, I don't. I don't know nothing.
Although I will say, last I checked, the adult regions were at capacity, so that might be, but that would be guesswork. I probably shouldn't even say that since I don't know, but that would just be my educated guess.
Back to the Linden Homes Copperfield thing, just to put this out there, we noticed that there seems to be no communal anything. Like, you've got these beautiful lakes, these beautiful areas, but there's no like picnic blankets or seating, benches, anything to sort of like engage with the community and sort of like, oh, I'll meet you all at the lake. We're all having, drinks after work. Does anybody want to come down? That sort of thing. It would just be kind of fun. And there's just noticeably nothing.
I will absolutely talk to my team about that possibility. I know that they've kind of gone less with regards to actual community areas, not so much with, little pieces here and there, but with, full blown community areas, because it seems like people pay attention to it for a week and then all of a sudden those regions don't get any activity whatsoever. But with the here and there, like around the lake and stuff like that, I will
Yeah,
definitely take a look and see what we can do.
right, that would be awesome because I remember when you launched Linden Homes, the new version, and you had those little areas where there were like the upturned boats that looked like seating and everything. That was what engaged everybody so quickly, was like sitting there for hours just chatting to each other, and it was just sort of nice. And yeah, you've got all this lakefront. It'd be really nice to be able to sit on something and look at the ducks. And are there ducks? I want ducks.
I have not seen any ducks placed in the lake yet.
Please give us ducks. Even a
Uh,
linden that is a duck, because I bet there's one, could just swim laps every morning and we'd be there for it.
I like that idea. Gorgeous, for yours, as I mentioned, we had like 20 or 24 templates, and then we came up with another 20 or 24 templates that had some modifications. And then we came up with another batch. It's not 20 or 24, but another batch that is actually different and showing more of the 2048 parcels and stuff like that. So you should start seeing more diversity.
Hi,
Oh, nice.
a comment regarding Alita's post on the North Bridge. So,
I don't know about the post.
I'll repost it 1 second.
Divine, We will never release everything all at once. Now, it won't be one or two regions at a time. I'm expecting, and again, don't count on this because things could change between now and beginning of next week, but I'm expecting a similar size release probably beginning of next week. And then going past that, our standard 5 to 10 regions, depending upon uh, how quickly what is currently out there gets taken up.
Claudine just resubmitted the post.
Oh, okay. Let me read. Wendy, I think that's a you one.
Actually, speaking of scripted agents, we noticed with the shops that there's people had said there's scanning going on, and I noticed the same avatars keep landing and leaving and stuff like that. Like it seems like a whole Bonniebots operation, and yet when Bonniebots were doing it, it was no bad, and now it's yay good because it serves us.
I don't know if there's been any reaction yet, but we've had a couple of reports that we're investigating. It's just there's been so many different things happening with the commercials at once. Not everything has been reacted to yet.
You can count on me to react to things.
No worries. Do you mean like older Linden homes, Ellie? Definitely something I would look into. At the moment, what we're doing is we're going to probably do some updated options. So kind of like we did for log homes, where we added some more options that were there. Rather than modify the existing ones that were already built. But I'm not against the possibility.
Yeah, the sounds. Why is there a beep, beep, beep sound when there's no traffic? There's nothing, no cars. And
I
police
guess it's
sirens.
just
It's like an 80s TV show up in there.
Sarah, as far as trains and stuff like that, when we have the cycles to do so.
Yeah, it's rough, Samantha. I hear you on that one.
Which effect is it?
It's like sirens and then alarms
But
beeping that do
in
sounds
which
like
theme?
equipment. In the stores on Fortune Hill, especially we hear it. But it's not just that it's horrible. It's so repetitive. So if you are there for a long period of time, you can kind of start to go bananas.
I will definitely mention that to my effects person and get to look at.
Yeah, the birds are nice, but all the rest is just. We want a Disney store, not a Cagney and Lacey.
I've already seen people racing through the commercial areas, Holocluck, so it's been kind of interesting.
Oh, I swear, I pretend this is my last thing. You all the Linden stores default res. So people aren't realizing that people can just come along and put a cube inside their store or cover their vendors and steal or whatever that they want to do. Can you not make that default in the next release? Because a lot of people don't realize they have to actually go into land options and turn that off. And everybody here, go into land options, turn that off so that people can't res in your store.
Oh, is it
Yeah,
currently set to everyone?
it's default. Yeah, you've done it as default to everyone. So people are putting prims in people's stores, I think, to test whether or not people are around. And yeah,
Is
it's really
it build or object entry?
both.
Okay.
All of them are check marked.
All right. I will get that reported.
Yeah, because if somebody does the old vendor covering thing, people are doomed.
Very good catch on that.
I did announce it in the Belly group when I first caught it, but yeah, just in case. But for future, it should just be off.
Sarah Kay, I am thinking very much about something like that as well for Molmart. So obviously, I am not going to place a mole related store until the grab for stores is much less severe, because I don't want us to take something that could go to another resident. But once we have enough out there to where it's not immediately, oh God, it's gone, then maybe.
What about a mole cart? I would love to see some smaller little vendor carts where they could maybe just have 10 prims or something, and they had to be contained in the cart. Like if you go to a mall, somebody has like a sunglasses hut or something.
Or a little mole street vendor.
Yeah. So
Maybe a
even
mole could walk around and open their coat and offer things off the inside of their coat.
Okay, I'm not giving Abner any ideas.
there's those 80s TV series again. Yeah. Yeah. Want to buy a watch?
Oh, I'll say I'm not sure if the person who owns it is currently here, but one of the commercial regions has a van in front of it, but it took a while for it to res in, so it looked like the plain white van that you could imagine a free candy sign being on, and I was just could not stop laughing when I saw it. I will talk to the team about that next. I don't see that as a big problem. LOL, Porta.
If they give us insides of stores, then we want insides of houses, because we've been asking for that since Linden Homes started.
I get that, Sassy, although the inside of the stores is much easier than the inside of the houses.
Yeah, I think I've made 3 shells this week. It's been rough.
And I love some of you that are making the stairs and the second story in the stores. Those are pretty cool.
Yay.
I will say I have been greatly impressed about what you guys have done to the front of the stores to individualize. Some of it, you may need to reread the covenant because it broke some of the rules that were in the existing covenant. Some of you may want to read some of the new additions to the covenant and stuff like that. But there are a few things that we need to tweak, and it's not so much of a restriction. It's more of this kind of impedes on this and breaks this or that. So we're just trying to be fair to everybody. Literally every change, add, modification, or removal that we completely did, we went and looked at and said, one, how can this be abused? Because, there are those people out there. And two, what does this cover that might still be a good thing? So how can we reword that to not remove creativity? So, there was one instance, one version that talked about not allowing people to put anything out front except for a sign, because we saw a few stores that were really, really overblown and everything like that. And then we saw a few stores that were absolutely amazing, and we're like, okay, wait a minute, how can we tweak this to allow? Yes, Eric, some people did crazy things like that. So we tried to kind of word everything to allow for creativity, but to also be somewhat succinct in what the limits are. Like some people tried expanding the size of the store to make it like twice as tall and stuff like that. And it's like, no, we can't really do that. So there are things like that.
Maybe it should be considered decoration only.
That's one of the verbiage that we used.
Yeah, not your actual products,
But
but
no,
if they do weekend events or something and they want to put something outside, maybe a limit of 2 something.
I know, I can tell you that right now in the proposed that will probably go live tomorrow, no vendors are allowed outside the store. However, you can put, stuff that advertises what's inside the store there, so that's still possible. It's not actually mini golf courses. It's they're actually
Eco
patterned
gardens.
after, yes, they're patterned after the eco gardens. If you look at New York City's Javits Center, which is a big glass, predominantly glass convention center, but then it has non-glass areas. It has eco gardens up on top of the roofs. Some of that was patterned after that. No, you can't put anything on the roofs because that kind of would change what's available, unfortunately. And Sparkle, what I would look at is think of anything that you want to add and think of how somebody else might do that in such a way that you'd be ew, and you'll know why some of the rules exist. You can pretend to play mini golf on the roof.
Actually, I do have to applaud whoever did the plants and all of that. They did a fantastic job out the fronts of the stores, and everything looks amazing. And the bus stops, we were so excited to see bus stops because we've talked about that in these meetings before.
And they will eventually be working bus stops.
That's amazing. I've got one opposite my store. I'm so excited.
Also, do you guys want to know about a mistake that was made that's been fixed before release, but a mistake that was made?
Yes.
So you know how the stores are adjacent to each other, but then there's actually some parcelage between the stores just because you don't want things sticking from one store into the next, etc. But they're covered by an intervening wall. Well, my decorators accidentally decorated all of the inner alleyways that you can't even get to on accident. And we're like, wait, why is the prim numbers on these regions so much higher than it was supposed to be? And we're camming around until we found them and, found that out. So that all got removed. Yes, exactly, Snowlord. That's where you hide the bodies. Well, there are alleyways that are fine, but the closed off alleyways had decoration in them too.
That's where the virtual drugs get sold.
There you go. And also another thing to keep in mind.
Now you told everyone.
You can't put any signs or anything on anything other than the front of the store. So if you see people that have it on the sides or the back, that's technically against the rules. So when that gets reported, we'll have to deal with that.
Actually, I think Snowlord brought this up in the Belly group. We would love to see some like really cool sort of billboards on the sides of the buildings, but they're not really advertising, but more sort of like really cool Linden inspired or Second Life inspired.
Sassy, I need to stop you there for a second. You and I are going to need to meet after this meeting because I want to know where you put the microphone in my office.
Oh.
That's also on our idea of putting some advertisement type signage, possibly having it be a rotating thing, possibly having it be a rented thing or something like that. Well, the thing is, to Snower, we might do it both ways. We might do like inner city murals and some things, but we also might give people the opportunity to put advertisement type stuff. Or we might, one suggestion was that we put fake advertisements up there. The one thing I absolutely won't do, I will not put the SL Media stream in the regions because I don't want to drive you guys insane with that.
Right, but fake ones, sort of like Linden Cola. This is how we get through each day.
Nix, as far as signs on the walkway, as long as it's within the parcel and it isn't actually a sign. Yes, but as long as it's within your parcel area, which is not that far out of the front of the sign, or in front of the store, there's only a small area that your area goes, but it's not tiny. It's just compared to the sidewalk, it's like I think maybe a third kind of the width of the sidewalk. You can't put another sign for your store there, but you could put other things on there. Like if somebody were to put, so I've seen coffee shops with tables and chairs and stuff like that. And the reason why you can't put a sign is we had some people that covered their entire store with signs of their store name. And we're only allowing you to put one actual store name sign on there. However, you could put other things just inside your glass that can be viewed, because we're not limiting what you can put in the store itself, and behind the glass is within the store. So that's another way that you can get around it. My store is out of the way and difficult to find. Can I put a light on the ground pointing into the sky to let people know? Nah, I wouldn't do that, Samantha, because that's going to get viewed as out of theme. But remember, once we have the map boards, the map boards are going to be basically, this region has 18 stores, and it's going to be a map that shows where store A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, whatever. And then on the side, it's going to go store A is blah, blah, blah. Store B is blah, blah, blah. Store C is blah, blah, blah. And that's why the requirement for the parcel name to be your store name, because that's what it's going to pull from. It may holoclick. But there are people that want the role-playing experience of going up to the kiosk, seeing where things are, and walking around. So we want to let them do that too.
Will the description of the region be in the signs as well, or just the name?
Just the name.
Awesome.
And the only reason for just the name is there's just not enough room.
Back to the billboard sort of idea, just putting this out there because it helps all of us. Maybe if you were going to advertise real things, maybe get somebody to do the annual events, the charity events, Relay for Life, Hair Fair, Doctors Without Borders. That sort of lets people know that might be new and not know such things happen. Just
that's a great idea.
One every couple of regions.
Also, maybe the newbie areas, something to point people to those, that help areas for new people.
Yeah, places in Second Life that will help. Like the destination guide links.
All of that sounds good.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Now, I got one last request from you guys. Does anybody have any Mainland or WebRTC or non-Linden homes? Because I've been monopolizing this meeting. So in case anybody here has any non-Linden home or commercial questions, let's give them a minute to chime in just in case. Everybody's like, nope, we just want to talk more about stars.
Actually,
it was very quiet right there.
What about another meeting? What about another meeting occasionally for now that this is a thing? Maybe it deserves its own separation thing, because there'll be a lot of store owners and a lot of land. I mean, you've just done 300 shops, then that's going to be more. Maybe once every 2 months, there could be a separate meeting for that, maybe.
I don't know if that's something that would be viable isn't the right word for it, but needed. However, one thing I'll talk with Wendi and Henshin about is maybe we open up half of every other meeting for commercial specific. And if that starts not being enough, we then look at, how we could expand upon that.
It might also be appropriate to the content creators user group as well.
True.
It could kind of get messy if it ended up in the content one.
It could. Eric, to answer your question, yeah, I believe that Gaines is working on some of that with the viewer right now, as far as trying to make things a little bit brighter. So I think that work's taking priority right now over mainland adjustment, but I know that he and I have both discussed that together. So we shall see. It's definitely something that I want to see happen.
I guess I want to. Yeah, that's something we're looking at, Sarah. I just want to also chime in to say thank you to everybody. I know when the commercial came out, it had to get taken down real quickly and everything. And obviously, there's a huge demand, and we just kind of dipped our toe to start and everything. But and I know the forums because they're forums, so the forums will be forums. But I really want to appreciate how all of you have taken it in stride, and while you have expectations, you're not yelling and screaming when the expectations aren't immediately met. So just thank you all for your patience.
I hate to bring
Hear,
the
hear.
issue back up regarding the Northbridge community. However, like we have two areas on the destination guide on mainland that are like being crippled by this person with like scripted agents. We've been reporting for over a month. This issue's been completely consistent and completely ignored. So I'm just wondering if there's a better way to like go about either how we do the reports or what it is exactly, because it feels like we're just running in circles with this person taking up a fourth of our allotted space essentially with the bots.
Yeah, I really unfortunately don't have a good answer for you here. We are not the trust and safety team. I know the trust and safety is looking at restarting their user group soon. That's not going to provide you, an answer today, unfortunately. So much like what O'Meal just said, when you do file reports, provide as much information as you can. It does include a photo, so make sure that you use that adequately. You can also put in a ticket. Our tickets are not abuse reports. There is information you can add that is supplemental to an abuse report. An abuse report is key, however. So as much information as you can get to the team, they'll look into it. Again, unfortunately, I'm not in trust and safety, or maybe that's a good thing. But we do have trust and safety, and that's what they would do.
Speaking of the textures, I think it's wonderful that you provide textures for people that match the homes and match the stores, etc. But there always seems to be like two missing or something that you really, really need but isn't available. Is that on purpose? What's that?
Sassy, absolutely. We actually watch your chat log for which one you're looking forward to so we can eliminate it.
So I don't need to remove my microphone. You've got a microphone. I gotcha. Yeah. All my
No.
witnesses, thank you very much.
Let us know when we miss something, and we will absolutely look and see whether it's something that we can add. I know there have been occasions where we couldn't add it for this reason or that, but sometimes it's just an obvious or an honest mistake, so we have no problems updating.
It's good to know because, yeah, it could be a ownership thing, but that's good to know.
How do we let you know?
Let Wendi know. No, I'm kidding. You
Is
can
that
either
a bus I see coming?
either via support ticket or canny, depending upon what the situation is. And Wendi, I now have to run because Eric rezzed the camel spider.
There you go. That makes sense. Well, I will, because I know we're coming up at top of the hour. Have a great month, everyone. Have a blast. I hope everything goes great for everyone. We'll see you next time. Until then, find us in tickets, find us in support.
Have an amazing, amazing day, everybody. Don't forget to say thank you to Henshin.
Pantera for videoing it, so everybody, there'll be a link
Have a
to
great
Pantera's
day.
YouTube.
Bye, guys.
Take care, all.
All right, now that everyone, now that they're gone, Anybody got any last minute questions for me? I'm joking.
Say the Betty bought some butter, the Betty bought that tongue twister I typed out for you. Then we'll all be happy.
You might have to repost it. I'll do that one last thing and then I'll go. Although I know I saw it was a pretty long one. Say, Luke, I am your father. Once you roll, I just they get me to to do what I can. All right, let's see here. Betty bought some butter. Betty bought some butter, but the butter Betty bought was bitter, so Betty bought some better butter than the bitter butter Betty bought before. That's not so bad.
Yay!
I mean, I could probably do it faster. Let's see. Oh, now's my time. All right, I'll see you guys next meeting.
I'll give you your chance now, Iva. Next time, Henshin, it's Fox and Socks time.
You're all wonderful. Thank you so much for a great meeting. And hi to all our new neighbours, everybody that got shops and that live on the borders and stuff.
Hey, Carol. Yes, after party. Eric is providing the alcohol.
Llanfair bwll gwynill go ger y chwyrn dro bwll lan sysilio go gogoch.